Yo, what's good? What's going on? I'll try not to take too much of your time. But if you're stumbling across this video, more than likely you're working on a porn addiction, um, or just a lustful, kind of drive. I feel like as men, that's like the most common thing that we deal with. So for myself, I've been struggling with it since I've been about 12, and around May 2019. I started taking physical steps to get over that. I've been pretty much free of lust since then. The full, the chain, you can say, of lust, the stronghold. Of course, struggles and temptation, lures, and it's a process, and truth be told, it still is a process. But I'll say from the day to day, the day to day calling, you can say, I've pretty much gotten over that. So the way I did it, which was I'll also preface with this: it's always more difficult in the beginning. It is always more difficult in the beginning. Always. Always, always, always. And that was the most difficult thing for me to break. That thing, lust is a difficult, thing to break, because a lot of us have been dealing with it for a long time. So just know, if when you start out, it's not going to be easy. And to just be prepared for the highs and the lows, and just to take it as a process, and to reward yourself, or pay attention to the reward. So that's actually my first piece of advice. My first piece of advice, when you begin this journey, is to seek rewards and seek positive reinforcement. So for me, the first time I started practicing it, I was actually doing it a lot. Prior to practicing, they call it semen retention, right? So, or abstinence. I was doing it a lot. I was doing it like 2 to 3 times a night. I had a girlfriend as well, so we'd also, partake in intercourse. So I was, I was doing that a whole lot. But, when I finally began to practice, I remember the first time that I decided to hold off, I went 4 days. 4 days, no sex or no intercourse, no sex, and no, masturbation as well. And within 4 days, man, you start to feel a lot more alive. You start to feel a lot more in your senses. You start to feel more of a drive. And the light definitely, is you can see it at the end of the tunnel. So that's my first piece of advice, is that, with this journey, as difficult as it is, you can tend to see, depending on how often and how much you struggle with it, you can see results, fairly quickly. Another thing I'll say is, to complement that, or to add on to that, is that you tend to see results after, and this is going to transition to my second point, you tend to see results after a serious struggle. So say on day 3. Day 3 is a common day where, you is there, man. If you're a chronic person, you're doing this daily, or you're a chronic person who's messing with it, day 3 can be difficult just by day 3, going 3 days. But as soon as you get over that, the next day is when you say you wake up, and it's just like, wow. You just get up and you go. It's a great feeling. You're not thinking about, for me, I was into bodybuilding a lot at this time, so I was eating a lot more as well. And, if that's how you get down, that's how you get down. But, I just get up and I'd be like, I don't need energy. I just go. And it's a good feeling, it's a good feeling to be able to get up and just kind of go. So, that was one of those moments is understanding, once you get over the hump, it's always beautiful on the other side. Get to the top of the hill and you can see the view. So, that's how I see it. Transitioning to my second point is when you're on those difficult times, right? Day 3 or day 7 or day 10 or 3 weeks in or something like that. 40 day, 30 day, a month. And like I said, it gradually does get easier. Um, you know, Find an activity outside of positive reinforcement, right? You're going to start noticing the energy changes. So the physiological reinforcement is going to kick in already. But also, of course, like, pick up an activity, uh, for me, I've always been in sports fairly. I've always done some type of physical activity. So, picking up a physical activity that, you can they say transmute that energy into. So it's like, okay, I have all this energy, I have this drive, let me not release it and feel tired afterwards. Let me, say if you write, let me write. That may be difficult. For me, it was running. I was running and just like push-ups or weightlifts. I just be, because it'd be, where the temptation comes, man. Idle times is the devil's workshop. So, you be in your room. So for me, I just get up off my bed, be on my phone on Instagram, and then I just be like, yeah, all right. And then I'd get up and I'd, maybe crank out 20 push-ups, maybe do some squats, running in place real quick, another 20, maybe a couple more squats, see if like I should do any homework, get any planning done. And then, it's in the evening, so I even recall just, let me go through let me see what I got for the next day, type of stuff. And then you just kick the next day off, kind of going like that. And then eventually maybe close the night off with a movie if I got everything done early. And that's just what it be, take my, like, just kicking that motor into something else, putting that energy and that drive into something else. And, truly you'll start to see benefits. Momentum starts to kick in. You start like, oh man, I'm doing this, is great. So that's where it goes back to point number 1. So we're on point where we've done 2 points so far. The first one is always reinforcing, positive reinforcements. Physiological reinforcements are great. So those are gonna happen natural, and then of course, whatever activity you want to do. Say you get to day 10, like, yo, if I get to day 10 this time, always try to beat the streak. Right, so I got to day 7 because you're gonna have things called, that's my point 3, which is wet dreams. They may or may not happen where it's just like, what am I gonna do? So always try to beat your streaks because it's probably, you're more than likely gonna have slip ups. You're not just gonna have a chronic porn addiction and then, or chronically have sex with your partner and then all of a sudden be like, yo, no, I'm not having sex ever again. I'm good. Wouldn't even make sense. So at that time, just understand it's a journey, it's a process. So just picking rewards and always trying to beat your streak. Say I beat my streak this time, okay, I'm gonna go and get this dinner from this place because I mess with this place, or I'm gonna get these shoes. If I do 40 days, something crazy. So that would be my first point. Is positive reinforcements. And then the second point would be finding activities to do instead to replace them with. So the third point is it's more of a mental note. Is take your time with it. It's no rush, and it's only up from pretty much here. You know what I mean? It's only up from here. Don't get down on yourself if you dropped the ball. Just try to figure out why you did. And don't rush anything, don't, it's going to all take its time. If you mess up, don't think, oh man, I was at 18 days. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start feeling really good. And you may mess up and it's like, oh man, I don't feel as good. don't put all your power in there. Just understand it's a process and be thankful and be great. Like for me, I just be grateful. Like, man, like I'm becoming so much of a better person right now. You know, so it's like this happened, man. I'm not gonna bog down on it. I'm still gonna do what I have to do every day, and I'm gonna, just be patient for it when the time comes up, and that, time does its thing. Time, works out in my favor. So that's my third point, man. Um, you know, and then overall, just housekeeping, just closing out, man. Just overall housekeeping. Try to be on, like, for me, I just try to stay off social media a little bit because, you do too much on social media, you do too much things, and it's like, man, what's next? What do I do next? Like, I'm bored of social media. I ain't got nothing to do, and that's when, devil comes back in about the whole idle time thing, or going back to the whole idle time thing. And yeah, in closing, actually, I recommended this to an old friend of mine. It's another positive reinforcement. Go out. Go out. Especially like when you're feeling good on a Friday or something like that. Say you're like, whatever, how many days or so you're in. Day 18, day 15, something like that. You're feeling pretty good. Go out. Go out and test your still. And go. That's an experience, man. That's one of those things where it's like, you'll really kind of get hooked, man. Take your time with it. Don't expect too much. Don't do too much. I mean, just throwing, pointers or hooks, whatever. You do what you want, but definitely I think you'll enjoy yourself. I enjoyed myself when I started going out. So that's all I got, man. I think those are definitely enough to get started. On a semen retention journey, on a breaking the porn addiction or the lustful addiction. Regarding partners, if you have a partner, I don't know how deep you are in your relationship, but it's very important, to take breaks. You're a man, and although you more than likely will have seed until death, you need that seed for a reason. God planted that seed in you for a reason, whether or not you believe in God. So that seed is energy, man. That seed has the power to produce life, to bring life, right? Fertilizes into the egg, and life is being made, being conceived. Some being is being conceived. So that there's a lot of power in there. So when you're releasing it consistently, man, you're taking away, you're draining your energy. And that's why when you start to save it, you begin to see energy. And it's like you wake up and you just go 4 days without it. And, 5 days, 7 days, something like that. And you start to feel, energy. So if you have a partner, I would definitely go about that, as best as you know how to. Have that conversation. But understand, in a relationship, I believe that you should always love yourself first. In order to love the other being, you gotta love yourself. So do what you need to do. Have that conversation, and hopefully they'll receive it. And just a little bit of words of encouragement, man. If they don't receive it, that person may not be the best person for you. So, or at least in the long run. Yeah. So, man, that's all I got, man. Yeah, hopefully, you got my information. I'll see what I'll do about that. I may put it in the description. Because I think it's cool, man. Definitely, accountability partner always helps. So I'll see what I do about that. But either way, you had this video. And I hope it helps, man. I definitely hope you get over it. I'd love to see brothers succeed. So yeah, that's all I got, man. Peace.